Hello and welcome to the world of Matthias. Today I thought we were going to check out some products from Nitro Lac, which I use almost exclusively when it comes to paints and lacquers and all of that for my guitars. The thing that I really love about them is they hold a great collection of nitrocellulose colors, and they have all the classical Fender colors and all the classical Gibson colors. So anything that you want, you can get from their website. But they also hold some other things in stock. They have poly finishes and what have you, and water-based finishes and all of that. I urge you to go into their website and have a look. They have great stuff there, and your imagination and your creativity really comes to life when you go into their website. Today I thought I was going to show you their tint that they stock. They have all sorts of colors, but I am going to do this mahogany Stratocaster into a green. And this is actually the simplest way to coloring a guitar. It goes fast. So I have done one thing to prep this before I am going to taint it, and I have moistured it down so the fibers, they raise up, and then you can go over it and sand it. So that is that you have to do that before you put this tint on, because the tint, once you apply it, you can't sand it. It's not like a regular paint that you just that you put on and then sand and then put on another layer. This you can't do that. So you have to prep it like that before, otherwise you will get not as smooth a surface that you maybe would like. So yeah, moisture it first, get the grains to rise, and then you can sand it down, and then it won't be a problem to put on the tint. We will also put on this conductive paint from Nitro Lac, and that is more or less if you don't want to put on some copper shielding here in the pickup cavities, you can use this paint instead. So yeah, we're going to, and I like that. I really like that. So we will put that on also. So that is what we're going to do today. So let's move in closer and I will show you how I do it. So this is how the product looks. It comes in these small bottles, and I have more of them. I have a yellow one, I have an orange, and the orange one is actually quite good if you want to age, say, maple. You can just put this on and you will get a little bit of age to the neck or whatever you have. So yeah, that could be a great solution if you want to age something really fast. And also the black. The black comes in handy from time to time. I like black, so this is what you should stock. But they have all sorts of colors. As I said, they have blue and they have red and they have all of that. So just check it out on their webpage. Also wanted just to show you here. Here's my collection of Nitro Lac's products. This is not all that I have, but I have some over here as well. As you can see, so I really am using them, and they are really nice folks, so check them out and get things from them. You can also get their stuff if you're in the US. Just surf into this here and you will get their products. So we will start with the sponge, and we will just make sure that there is no dirt on it, and then you can just start wiggle it around. I don't know if that's necessary, but I always do that. Then you take a sponge, and then you just put on quite much, like so, and then you can just start putting it on the guitar. Just try to get it even, and this is a new wood guitar, so takes it in really nice and fast. Yeah, great color. Now this is mahogany, so it's not. So the wood isn't actually. It doesn't show the grains as much. It's not the big things in the wood. You can see the small grains, of course, because it's mahogany. But yeah, you can see how fast that went. That is the front of the guitar, and it's almost already done. So yeah, so let's move on to the back, because this is already dried. So you can move on to the back at once. And when you're putting on a die, it's always a little bit tricky here when it comes to the end bits of the wood here. It soaks up much faster here, and it has a tendency to be a little bit darker there. So just keep that in mind and don't put on as much tint on the edges. So just a little bit like that. As you can see, this process is really fast and very satisfying as well. So, and now let's do the edges, and then we're finished. So there you go, very fast and very nice results. So you can just let that dry for maybe just a couple of minutes, nothing more than that. In just a couple of minutes and it will be fine. Some other type of woods may take a little bit longer time if it's a little bit more dense wood, like maple or ash or something like that. It will take a little bit more time to get it to soak in, but when it's mahogany like this, it takes nearly no time at all. You probably should wear gloves. But yeah, the nice thing I think when working with these kind of projects that are so easy to work with is that your imagination and your creativity comes up to the surface really fast, because it's easy to be creative when everything is working nice. So I thought that once I was doing this, yeah, it looks really good, but what about if we do a burst on this one? Just a two-tone burst. So we do this with a black burst here on the side. I think that will be great. And maybe then, should we go for a black pickguard or a white pickguard? I don't know, maybe pearl pickguard. We will see, but yeah, a burst on this one would be great. But firstly, let's put on the conductive paint. And doing that is really not a big thing. It's not very complicated at all. All you need is a good paintbrush. They're very easy to do this. This paint, it's quite thick, so you don't have to do this more than, you can do it more than once if you really want, but yeah, it's a really thick paint, so it will cover the first way around. And when you do this, just try to think of it as if you were putting on some copper lining. This should go on the same places. Now, if you have a pickguard with aluminium backside, then you can just paint up a little bit where that aluminium backside touches the body of the guitar, maybe here or something like that. Or if you don't have that, or if you want to go with something else, then you just put an extra wire under the pickguard and you ground it to that. So you just basically just put a screw down in the guitar body. I like to do this on almost every guitar that I have, and it's, of course, it's like 90% is to get rid of the hum, especially on single coil pickup guitar, but I also think that it looks very tidy and very nice to have it painted here in the pickup cavities. The pickup cavities of guitars, especially import guitars, can be very untidy and very rough like. So yeah, if you don't want to put conductive paint on it, just take another type of paint and just go over the inside of the cavities, and I think it looks much nicer. Yeah, it looks really good. So yeah, now I'm thinking black pickguard maybe, but we will see. We have to do the Sunburst first, and then we can start thinking about what type of pickguard we are going to use. So let's do the burst on the guitar now. So I don't have a special painting boot, so I always do this. The last thing I do in the workshop every day is just to paint the guitar. So I'm doing that, and then it can sit overnight, and then it won't be any problem, but I still want to wear the mask. Yeah, so doing a burst, then you could go with the black color, but they also have this called the nitro tint, and that is actually a little bit more transparent color that you can use just for the burst. And I have bought this one to do a 50s replica of a Stratocaster, so I'm going to do two-tone burst on that one, and I will show you that later as well. But this is the nitro tint. So this is what you are going to go for. First I go quite close on the edges, and once I have done that, all I do to get a bigger spread of the burst is actually just to move this away a little bit further, and then you get that nice burst. Alright, so welcome back. This is the day after, and this is how the guitar body turned out, and I think that it turned out really nice actually. Look at this. And it has this nice wooden feel. I haven't coated it with any gloss lacquer or any lacquer at all for that matter, and I really like this kind of feel to the guitar. Maybe I have to go over a little bit more here on the edges, because the end grain is always a little bit more rough. So, but all in all, it looks very nice, I think. So now we just have to pair this with some other stuff to make a great guitar. Last night also I did something just out of the blue. I took some black tint here, and I put it on a rosewood fretboard. It was not a dark, it was a light color to it. So I put it on there just to see what we will get. See if it can sink into the wood, or if it just leaves there on the surface. So as you can see, the dots are not there, and as you can see, also a lot of overlay here on the back of the neck, which I'm not too concerned about. Let's just see if we can get these marks to appear again, and also to maybe see if we have darkened the fretboard a little bit. So there's always a ton of different ways to do things, but I'm going to try to remove this stain with some bright scotch. Let's see if that works. Let's start with the fret with a marker. Yeah, so it's actually a lot darker than it was before. Let's see how it turns out once I have done all the fretboard. Maybe I wasn't smart enough to take a before picture on this, but I hope I did, and I will show you that, of course, but a lot darker. All right, so I sanded down the backside of this neck. So now it's a dark fretboard, and it's also light back here, but I want to make it a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more stylish, I think. I also redid the headstock to one of mine. This is also my logo, as you can see here. I think I might go with a yellow tint on the back of this one, or an orange tint actually. Yellow or orange? Maybe we should check it first how it plays out on maple. Let's do that. So this here is a spare piece of maple. So I'm going to tint this, and you're going to see the result. So that is the two options, but I definitely say we should go yellow on the neck. It's always good to just try it out before you actually apply it on the main thing. But it's important that you try it out on the right type of wood, because if you don't, well, these tints, they can be a little bit different when it comes to different woods. Maybe I'll show you that in another video. Right, so there we go. Now it's all sanded down to a really nice finish. It's important that you do that so you don't have any scratches here when you do
the tint on the neck, because that will show up. And it's quite hard to see if you have gotten all of the scratches out. You have to feel, but especially when it's this light kind of wood, it could be really hard to see if you have gotten everything out. So you just have to do the best that you can and see what you get. So, but just sand it and go all the way down to 800 grit and you will be fine. So this time, let's tape it. Now let's do this with a sponge. You can try to tint out with some paper, but when you're applying it, do it with a sponge. Look how nice that maple comes out. Very nice. Look at that. Looks very nice. You can remove this now. A very dark piece of fretboard and a yellowed, very nice piece of maple. Very smooth, very nice. So yeah, really love that. And you can actually handle it right away. Of course, it takes a little time to get fully cured. Let's put on some custom pickups that I'm doing myself. But that's for a different video, so I'm not going to show that process in this video. So I will come back to you once I have the pickups ready, and we will assemble this, and you will see how it looks and maybe even how it sounds. So when I put this thing together, I really think that the whole of the guitar really came together. The nitro tint from Nitro Lac worked very, very well. It has a very nice feel to it. You can feel the wood through the paint and the lacquer. And that is, if you have a nice piece of wood, it's almost dumb to just lacquer it over with a solid paint. So this is a great way to do it. And also I made use of my Pearloid pickguard. I didn't really know what to do with that, but on this guitar I think it came out very good. Well, these are not active pickups. This is my own pickups in this guitar that I just upgraded. But I thought that maybe I could use these instead just for the look of the guitar, and I think that turned out great as well. Also I had these knobs laying around. All of the parts came together really well, really well. The back side of the neck feels so nice. It's just bare wood with some tint on it and a thin coat of matte lacquer. So yeah, it feels really, really well. It's not sticky at all, and you can feel the wood through the lacquer. And that was all for today. I hope that you have found this video educating, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye bye.